At a conference about tech, music, and film, could there be a more appropriate debut than a documentary about Steve Jobs? This comes from the same director who made the documentary about Enron.
I was focusing on kind of his core values, what he keeps talking about over and over again.
Called Man in the Machine, it was a compelling look at Jobs, and this is no fanboy movie.
Really interesting way of telling the Steve Jobs story, not just the beginning of Apple, but the events leading up to Steve's death, and it really showed his dark side. And it makes me wonder, is that the Steve Jobs, the real Steve Jobs? Can any one movie or documentary encapsulate the whole picture of the man?
To find out, I ring up Nolan Bushnell to go over the Steve Jobs filmography. Nolan invented Atari and Chuck E. Cheese. He wrote the management book Finding the Next Steve Jobs, and you were Steve Jobs' boss.
Yes, I was.
Bushnell hired him to work at Atari, and we start our Jobs movie tour with a story from the early days, Pirates of Silicon Valley.
It's called the Macintosh.
This is definitely not the Lisa.
ER TV doctor Noah Wiley portraying Jobs in the battle with Bill Gates and Microsoft. Bushnell's take?
I felt that it was a little too focused on the money that was being made. We were creating new cultures. We were creating new technologies that were foundational.
Next up, Ashton Kutcher. He took the role in 2013, and he focused on the intensity of Steve Jobs.
Get your shit and get out. You're done.
What are you gonna fire me?
No! I already fired you! Why are you still here?
In this movie and a few others, Bushnell's critique...
There's always a little bit more focus on some of the noir sides of Steve. I never saw anything other than energy, respect, charm.
Even in the myriad news profiles that use real-life interviews, there's a desire to put Jobs in a box. The BBC's billion-dollar hippie spent much of its focus trying to prove its title.
His hippie background made him a better billionaire.
CNBC focused on his perfectionist leadership.
He really wouldn't settle even for excellent. It had to be better than that.
Now, when it comes to the much-hyped biopic due out this fall from screenwriter Aaron Sorkin, a man whose machine gun dialogue is legendary, Bushnell's got an interesting take.
Steve's style in negotiation wasn't machine gun. It was judicious pauses.
So as you evaluate this profile from CNN Films or the upcoming biopic, the very thing about Jobs that captivates us, the sheer complexity of his character, makes it hard to portray him. What advice would you give to a movie maker who was setting out to tell the real story of Steve Jobs?
Good luck.